Alright guys, I'm doing an unboxing today of the latest ANNAM fragrance, which is called Japanese Whiskey. Look at this big box right here. It's a 150 ml bottle, and I love boozy fragrances. And you know what? Since I've gone to Japan, I was in Tokyo, I was in Kyoto and Osaka, I got really obsessed with Japanese whiskey. So it's one of my favorite spirits now. So I'm really looking forward to this fragrance. I haven't gotten my nose on it. But also in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about Strawberry Mochi, which was a fragrance that came out earlier this year. And then also I'm going to touch on two previous fragrances I spoke about in a past video. Vietnamese coffee, which is so good, and white rice, which is also really great. And these are in the older bottles. Find out about all these ANNAM fragrances coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Sebastian, talking to you about the brand ANNAM. It's a Vietnamese fragrance house. Have you discovered this house yet? Have you caught my video with Vietnamese coffee and white rice? And again, these are the previous bottles. This is a new bottle. This is Strawberry Mochi. White rice and Vietnamese coffee are awesome fragrances. I'll let you know about Strawberry Mochi, but it's all about Japanese whiskey today, and it's a little rattling around in here as well. So here is the box. It's a beautiful box. That is Mount Fuji, most likely, I think. This is Eau De Parfum. It's 150 ml, as you can see above there. And on the side it says, "In only this life let me drink up, and in lives to come I'll be perfectly content as a bug, a bird. Otomo no tabito." So if you haven't discovered the house, I do have a link to Lucky Scent in the info box. You can go catch all the fragrances there. They are selling or sold there. And they have other great fragrances that I need to get my nose on. And recently I was at Lucky Scent, Scent Bar, and DTLA. Sadly, I didn't get my nose on the rest of the collection, which I should have. I was playing around with other fragrances. But Japanese whiskey has notes of whiskey, Mizunara oak, malted barley, Clary sage, sandalwood, and chestnut. This is a 150 ml bottle for $380. It is Eau De Parfum concentration. So let's go ahead and open this up. So I don't understand the difference between this particular fragrance presentation and these fragrances presentation, because they're so different. So these are really small boxes, which is nice and compact. But this one, I saw a photo of it. It does look like a whiskey bottle. And, you know, I'm obsessed not only with fragrance, perfume bottles. I love tequila bottles because I'm a tequila drinker. And lately I've been obsessed with Japanese whiskey bottles as well. So this does look like it from what I remember seeing visually. So let's get this opened up. I don't want it to fall out. Oh, look at that. So inside it, there's a wooden box. So I have bought liquor that came in boxes like this. Whoa. So it's got this logo on the front. And that opens up. So the boxes, in the normal boxes, these fragrances come with this kind of a protectant sleeve. And I think you use this to take this off. And it's a bit torn inside, unfortunately. It's been moving around. And here is the bottle. So yeah, it's a pretty big presentation. And it is a bigger bottle than normal. This is 150 ml, so you get a lot more juice, but it is also on the pricier side as well. So this is quite pricey. I would say if you're interested in trying to figure out what this fragrance is like, I would, get some sample of it or something, because Lucky Scent does sell samples. Because again, this is a pricey fragrance, but it is beautiful, as you can see right here. The mountain is here, and this logo and all that good stuff written on there. So yeah, this is a really great presentation. It does look like a whiskey bottle. And again, if you want more information on any of the fragrances of the ANNAM, including Japanese whiskey, click the link to Lucky Scent and you can go there to check it out. So let's get our noses on these, or my nose on this. I haven't sampled it yet. I don't know why I totally forgot about this house when I was at Lucky Scent, Scent Bar in DTLA. I should have got my nose on it, but I'm doing it now. So I'm getting, for sure, the idea of whiskey. Really definitely am. And sure enough, it does remind me of the way whiskey smells. So I've smelled a lot of fragrances that are boozy, inspired by whiskey. One of the very first ones was Pure Malt from the house of Mugler, which that was a bit on the synthetic side. It was also quite sweet and a bit fruity, I believe. Here, I smelled a bit fruitiness, but this is smelling more like authentic whiskey that I put in my mouth and, drink, but in a scent form. Does that make sense? So a lot of smell and taste are combined. I mean, they're connected. And so when I drink whiskey or tequila, I can smell it as it's going down my mouth while I'm tasting it. And here, it's reminding me a lot of real whiskey that I am, smelling, but more about the taste in my mouth. Because sometimes booze is not very scented, but you can actually taste the way it smells in your mouth. And that's the experience I'm getting here. So this smells quite authentic for whiskey. So it's not uber sweet. So if you're looking for a boozy, sweet fragrance, this is not it. But I would say it has sweetness for sure. There is sweetness here, but it's not the sweetness of other boozy fragrances. But I have to be honest, this does remind me a little bit of Pure Malt, but in more of an authentic whiskey way. And it's quite nice, actually, guys. Really, really quite nice. It's just really realistic smell. The perfumer is Anh Ngo. I think that's how you say his name. It's a Vietnamese name. And he's done a really great job with this, the way the fragrance is smelling. Let's try it on skin now. I don't have anything on there. I don't have anything on there either, thankfully. I wonder if it's going to sweeten up on skin. I can't believe how authentic the whiskey smells. I mean, every bar I went to in Japan, I was doing nothing but whiskey sipping. So this it's quite authentic with the way it smells. And again, going back to what I was saying, when I'm tasting, it doesn't have too much of a fragrance when you're smelling it out of the glass, but as you're drinking it, you're tasting the smell and the flavor. So it's giving me that kind of a vibe. It's quite authentic. So not uberly sweet. Is that a word? Uberly? Not uber sweet, but there's sweetness. It's dry and spicy, and it's woody. There's quite a lot of woodiness here because, they're doing the Mizunara oak, sandalwood. I'm not getting the nuttiness of the chestnut note in here. I think it's blended in a way that it's enhancing the smell of the whiskey, the Japanese whiskey experience or the booziness, but I wouldn't call this a nutty fragrance because it's not acting nutty at all. So if you're looking for an authentic whiskey-inspired, in this case, a Japanese whiskey-inspired fragrance, I highly recommend you try this one. Now, I don't know how long it lasts and all that good stuff. I'll have to report back on it later. But for something that's really authentic, smelling like whiskey, Japanese whiskey in this case, I do recommend you get your nose on this one. I would also say because it's not as sweet, maybe it does lean a bit more masculine because it's all woods and spices. And I like that about it. And the fact that it is so authentic smelling with the whiskey, the realistic whiskey, I think it's a really nice work from the perfumer. So I have reviewed 2 other fragrances, as I was saying, from the brand, White Rice and Vietnamese Coffee. But before that, I'm going to talk to you about strawberry mochi. So strawberry mochi is a very unique gourmand in that it is fruity, sweet, and also savory at the same time. So they've combined the two types of delicacies, I should say, sweet and savory together. And it's a nice contrast. So if you like that, if you like a savory gourmand with sweetness added to it, because savory to me means it's salty, it's not sweet at all. You've got that effect here with sweetness at the same time. So it's a contrast. But the only thing that I felt was not great about this one, it's very young leaning when it gets to the strawberry sweetness. But other than that, when you can get past that, I think it's a fun fragrance and I like the contrast. Always love contrast in fragrances. Sweet and savory together. I think it's great. But this has notes of strawberries, rice, red bean paste, brown sugar, and vanilla. It's super young and playful. And the idea of strawberry mochi is there. I used to eat those before quite a bit. I've gotten tired of them. And when you eat them, you can kind of taste the saltiness outside and the fruitiness inside. And it's like authentic the way it's done. But this fragrance, again, it leans very young. It's young and playful and fun. So if you like that whole toasted, savory experience with the sweet fruitiness, I think this will satisfy you. Let me know your thoughts if you've sampled strawberry mochi from the house of ANNAM. What are your thoughts? And have you tried Japanese whiskey as well? Put a comment down. Do you get the experience of real, authentic Japanese whiskey smell? And I did mention it reminded me a little bit of pure malt from the house of Mugler. But that is more on the synthetic smelling side. This one smells quite authentic, and that also is fruitier. And this, even though when I smelled it in the air, it did give me a bit of a fruitiness, but on skin, it's not as fruity. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Vietnamese coffee. My favorite still from the whole entire collection that I've sampled so far. There's a lot of fragrances in the collection, and I don't understand why they decided to change bottles. I personally prefer the OG bottles. What do you guys think? These are a little bit more egg-shaped, but I like these bottles. But this, to me, Vietnamese coffee, which I've had plenty in my lifetime, and even though this doesn't really remind me too much of Vietnamese coffee, I think it's great. One of the best coffee fragrances I put my nose on. It's so super authentic smelling. It's roasted coffee, dark chocolate, condensed milk, muguet, tonka beans, amber, and cedarwood. Have you gotten your nose on this one? I've recommended it quite a bit because it's so super authentic smelling. And even though they have condensed milk in here and you get that a little bit up top, but when it's drying down, it goes dark coffee, like black coffee for me, with a light milkiness thrown in. And for me, from my experience, it's sweetened condensed milk with Vietnamese coffee. And I love that combo. It's sweet and kind of creamy with that dark, intense coffee flavor. You get that mostly, but it is a bit sweetened up with the milkiness, but not overwhelming with the milkiness. Just the right balance, I guess. But it's super yummy, guys. This is awesome. If you haven't tried Vietnamese coffee, I highly recommend it. And then last but not least, and I do have a full video on the last two fragrances, Vietnamese coffee and white rice. You can go search that if you want to find out more details about these fragrances. And also you can go to Lucky Scent and check out all the info there as well. White rice, to me, rice fragrances have become very popular lately. In this case, it's a bit more like a molecular musky fragrance with the whole powderiness and slight nuttiness that rice fragrances provides. And I like that. It's closer to the skin. It's more of a skin scent. It's quite powdery and it features notes of rice. There's pandan, orris, jasmine, white musk, cedarwood, and tonka beans. It's sweet, but also savory once again. We're getting a savory effect because rice is savory. It's not necessarily sweet, but you've got the combination here. But for me, it's more savory with the white rice than it is with strawberry mochi, but also it's a different savory. With the strawberry mochi, I was getting toasted salty crackers kind of an effect, but here with white rice, it's just savory from the rice, like however rice smells. Absolutely love eating rice, and I like the way rice smells when you're boiling it and all that good stuff. And they've captured that kind of smell when it's boiling, but creating this kind of powdery effect, but it's for me very irisy and also musky, like it's like a molecular musky fragrance with a rice overdose. Really great fragrance. I mean, if you like these kind of closer to the skin, kind of powdery fragrances with, you know, the rice effect, obviously, or if you like rice fragrances that go musky, I do recommend you try white rice. I highly recommend it. But for me, these two are really top-notch fragrances, white rice and Vietnamese coffee. But going back to this, once again, Japanese whiskey. So I'm shocked at how authentic it smells, because sometimes when you're playing around with boozy fragrances, they add sweeteners and these different notes in the fragrances to sweeten them up. And for me, when I drink booze, whether it's tequila or whiskey and I don't know, other booze like gin, I drink quite a bit as well, but I don't really consider gin a boozy note. When you sample boozy fragrances, they intensify the sweetness and all that kind of stuff. This to me literally smells like the real whiskey. So it might not appeal to some folks who want something sweeter, but if you're looking for that authentic flavor and smell of booze, then I think the Japanese whiskey should satisfy. So check that out. I think, again, since it is quite pricey, get a sample, but it does come in a beautiful presentation, and the wooden box is also really great to fit in there. But that's all I have for you guys today on this fragrance. If you have any questions or comments, please do list below. Otherwise, please like this video. Please share it. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video as well, guys. It'll help with the algorithm. Otherwise, thanks so much for tuning in. Have a good one. Bye-bye.